full moon or almost.
We can't see it from anywhere.
I prefer not to have a TikTok ban only because I like all my lunatics in one place.
I like TikTok.
Yeah.
They're going to spread out.
TikTok's the same thing as Instagram
Yeah, well,
Reels.
the problem is they're just going to go to another platform and be just as insane on that place. It's like we know where all the insane people are. Yeah. Just leave them there.
They did that with Vine.
Yeah.
They did do that with Vine, you're right.
OF girls, should it be banned? What do you think?
I mean, I think on social media, I think like if people want to do that, like, but on the kids are on these apps. Like there's children that get promoted this at very young ages. So I think that TikTok is very catered to children, and you're lying if you're saying they're not having accounts that say 18 plus, and parents aren't able to monitor it. So I think that it's just to make it platform, like, you know what I mean? Like just to an extent, like it's better to just take it off like social media so that kids are protected.
I 100% agree. I have seen a full chocolate starfish on my TikTok For You page. Did not want to see that.
What does that mean?
That's fucking disgusting.
But wait, why would that bother you? Like, don't you always see one of those?
Oh my God.
That was like the best possible way he could have responded to that.
The same reason it bothers her. I don't want children to scroll past that.
Oh, okay.
Because even if you do say, oh, I'm 18 plus, you just press a button. You could be 11 and say, oh, I'm 18 plus, and it's just their parents' account or whatever. The same thing happens with OnlyFans. There's no doubt in my mind that happens with OnlyFans.
But isn't it the 100%. Parents' like responsibility for monitoring your child's phone?
You cannot monitor that much. You cannot. You literally
kids
cannot.
Just shouldn't have phones.
That's what I want to say.
Monitor that.
If you can't monitor your child's like screens or whatever,
they shouldn't have
literally
screens.
could just come up on their For You page.
What happens if your child is 16 and runs away because you monitored their phone?
Yeah, exactly. My parents fucking monitored the shit out of my phone, and it made me a turbo slut for a year.
But
like a
that's
form
the
of
thing.
revenge,
like,
right?
I've been in an environment in a sexual environment for a very long time, and I saw pornography when I was really young. So
okay,
you
sorry,
think that was
sorry.
okay?
I'm moving that shit on. Sorry, you just took it to the wrong place. Can you read this?
Please. Why is it so difficult for these gals to accept that attraction triggers and reproductive strategies between men and women are asymmetrical? Our ontology/intrinsic hardwiring is vastly different.
It's true. That's true. The basis of the very being of what is woman. This is why, like, the rad turfs, you've seen the rad turfs, the trans-exclusionary radical feminists, like J.K. Rowling and those. The reason that they're so upset about the entire trans phenomenon is based on this particular argument. They're saying, what is a woman is... No, you can't just... You men can't just come in and take that from us because there's something that's special about it and unique about it. Right?
A woman is a human female person.
Yeah, I get it, but leaving that aside for a second, to the point of ontology or the like being or essence of a thing, right? When you're talking about what that is with a woman, it does seem like there is something to that.
Actually, I agree with that because I have seen that. I think they did some brain scans or something, and they show that people who, like, for example, there's a man and he identifies as a woman, or she identifies as a woman, whatever. They scan the brain, and he has the brain matter of a woman.
Yeah, all the
that
brain,
is more similar to a woman.
all the brain scan stuff is total bullshit.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
But the thing is, when you're talking about ontologies, like, this is the philosophical diving into of what being is. So do women have a different being than men do? Yeah, I think they do. Well, I think there is a lot of distinctions between men and women. Well, that's why I brought up the brain scan. Yeah, but it's not just the idea of the biology itself, but the essence of the thing.
I think that's such an interesting topic to talk about because that could be true, but I think that there is a pretty large chunk of it that is societally based, and I think I almost wonder if we didn't raise boys and girls differently, if that sort of because a lot of brain activity is pattern recognition. So I think that if people didn't grow up to think, oh, well, boys should be thinking this way and girls should be thinking this way, that there would be more similarities. I mean, of course there are physical differences, that are hard to beat. You can't change that sort of thing. Like my muscle mass is nowhere near. And then, but I do feel like there's got to be some sort of societal value to that as well.
Well, yeah, think about like...
Well, let's explore it for just a quick second. If this is true, if you think that there's so you're talking about nature versus nurture here.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is fine. We can dive into it. But if you're talking about the nurture part, you really don't have the upper hand in that conversation because where's all the female oil rig workers? Where's all the line workers? Hang on. Where are all the female engineers who are working in applied engineering? They're nowhere. When offered the choice in the egalitarian nations like this one, they still move towards the same oppressive jobs they had pre-Enlightenment. So they're still teachers, right? Especially preschool teachers. They're still moving towards secretarial work. They're still moving towards that. Interestingly enough, that seems to actually give the case to me that, wait, there seem to be distinct differences that aren't just social. Because once there's no barrier to entry, you're still doing the same shit you were doing before the society changed radically in order to accommodate you.
I think that you can think that if you want to, but I do believe that there is some sort of block, like that you might say that there's no barrier for women to enter those kind of fields, but
What's the barrier?
Well, getting I guess there's...
What would stop you from going working on an oil rig tomorrow?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that some people do choose that if they want to live that kind of life where you're very isolated from other people. But I think that when you say that women aren't engineers, I think that that's just kind of...
Applied. I'm talking about applied.
Applied.
Yeah. So when you're talking about engineering, it's wide and it's encompassing.
Well, I don't know.
When you're talking about applied, I'm talking about you take your hands and you build shit.
I do think that there are a lot of women who maybe would be interested in joining the construction field and that sort of thing, where applied engineering.
What's the barrier?
I think that the barrier is that they're kind of pushed out of those roles. I think that
the government incentives are there for those roles.
No, there's no government, but it's the people who own the businesses aren't going to hire a girl. They're going to take one good look at me and think, well, you're not going to be useful to me.
Are they wrong?
I disagree. I think that if you work hard at something, you can be good at it.
Do you think that you're going to be as good as a man roofing?
I think so.
You think so?
Well, I mean, if I learn how to do it,
deadlift?
Can we do this?
1 million.
Hang on, can we do this? Can we do this then?
Yeah.
Right here on whatever. I'll put $1,000 down. I'll come in tomorrow.
Okay.
You can come in tomorrow, right? And we'll just have 2 little bird houses, and we can roof them.
Okay, I'm so down. I'm so down. I'm gonna watch a YouTube tutorial. I'm gonna be so good. Wait, I can't.
Yeah, I know, but you're gonna have to use actual shingles on these roofs.
I'll bring my gloves.
Okay, but you got to bring $1,000.
Oh, I don't have. Wait. Oh, whoa. I thought this was your $1,000. Right. I don't have $1,000. Wait.
This should be the easiest $1,000 you ever made. You should just bluff it.
Yeah, but do you know anything about roofing?
Yes.
Well, so then that's immediately unfair because you already have experience.
I thought you just got done telling me that if you went.
I said if I apply.
I thought you just said if you went and applied as a roofer that you would be just as useful as the people who were there roofing.
If I had interest in roofing and if I had experience in roofing. But you don't have
any interest in roofing.
She could.
I'm just
you don't have any interest in roofing?
I mean, I am learning how to build houses right now, literally in school. So I would ideally have an interest.
You're learning.
Well, you're learning how to design houses in school.
No, but you learn the construction of it all as well. It's not just the aesthetic parts of it. Architectural engineering is a real thing. I'm taking.
There's only two.
Classes.
Okay, so are you looking for when you're talking about architecture? You're looking for commercial, or are you looking for residential?
I'm primarily
residential. Perfect. There's only 2 colors of wire that go to a power. You know those little sockets in the wall? 2 colors.
That's electrical, though.
What are they? What are the 2 colors?
I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. Dude, I just started. I'm not going to act like I know everything about architecture. I just started.
It's 2 colors. It's 2.
Is it blue and red? That's you asked.
I was going to say black and white, but I have no idea.
I was going to say red and yellow.
Right?
But I feel like we were talking about roofing 1 second ago. Now we're talking about electrical. That's different. You hire an electrical engineer to do.
But wait, you said you're an architect.
I'm not. I haven't graduated
I'm not an architect yet, but you're studying it. You said a part of that is studying construction. Big part of construction is knowing basic electrical.
You leave space for the electrical work to be done. You have to know where it has to hook up.
Oh no, there isn't a construction
but you
worker
hire somebody
on
else.
planet Earth, not a construction worker on planet Earth that doesn't know basic electrical, not one.
Probably basic, yeah, absolutely. I'm not
that
there
what
yet.
I just said was basic.
But I'm not going to be a construction worker. I'm going to be an architect. So it's slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not a construction worker.
No.
Yeah.
Did you get that where you wanted that to be?
Metro Matt donated $200.
Thank you, Metro Matt.
Men will continue clearly defining what they want and women will continue disregarding it. Stop being slots, be a good person and take care of your man. There is nothing more to it.
Oh, Metro Matt, thank you for the big $200 TTS. Really appreciate it, man. And then we do have, I'm going to have you read this one from Lucas. This is kind of like part 2 from his previous one. Thank you, Metro Matt. Appreciate it. Lucas, thank you for the $100 Streamlabs message.
So yes, double standards exist, but I assure you that double standards go both ways. For that matter, the litmus test criteria for women are far more extensive. See Dr. Bus/Meston in Why Women Have Sex. I haven't read that.
Thank you, Lucas, for that. Appreciate the message. Did you have more for Lucy Goosey on the construction stuff?
Yeah, right. I think she got it right. Just in the future, you can always think of it as the whites and blacks are always fighting and the green stayed neutral.
Ooh.
It would be helpful for you. I'm serious. That's how they think of it.
In the neutral. Mm-hmm. You know, that's going to come in handy when I get to that chapter. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. But in any case, so the idea here, all I'm saying to you is that no, you're not in construction. Mm-hmm. Is the reason you're not in construction because there was some social barrier against it? Or is the reason you're not in construction is because you weigh like 100 pounds and you ain't gonna get up on a fucking roof and shingle a roof because you will literally die of a heat stroke in 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's fair. Like me personally, I'm not going to be doing that probably. But when I think we talked about this last time a little. I don't know if you were present when we were talking about it, but David was. Brian. Why do I keep calling you David? What's wrong with me? There's something clinically wrong.
I thought his name was David too. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Anyway, but one of the projects that me and my family ideally are working on, and part of the reason I'm doing drafting things first instead of some of the other classes that I'm gonna have to take, is because we bought property, just blank slate of land, and we're gonna want to build something on it. So when we do start doing that, we're probably not likely going to be hiring a lot of people to come in. Yeah. So I will have to do work on that.
My point is, when you're talking about nature versus nurture, right? The reason that we see, even though there's no barrier to entry for these jobs for women, why do you think they're still going for the secretarial work? Why do you think they're still going for the clerical work? Why
Probably
do you think
because
they're still
of men
going
like
for teaching?
you who think that that's the spot that they should be in.
Who's forcing them to do it?
Society.
How?
I don't know if it's forcing. I don't think that's the right word to use.
Then how?
Then at that point it's preference, and you're right. Like I mean,
how? How is society forcing women to do anything?
I don't think that anyone's being forced.
We have technology, social media, Instagram, TikTok, and.
Well, hold on. How about why don't you explain? Because you, or unless you were joking, you said it's men like Andrew that are. Was it forcing women?
No. That believe that there's certain spots and like places in society that women should be like teaching and secretaries.
So even if Andrew, what an insane person I am.
No, I don't. No,
on the front line fighting forces of the United States, it should be men there killing our enemies and not women getting captured by them.
If you think that, then you cannot use that as a oh gotcha, women aren't in the military, so women can't do XYZ. If you genuinely believe that men are the only ones that should be doing that.
Why?
Because if you think that they're the only ones, then you can't be like, oh, well, women don't fight in wars because you don't even want them to.
They don't fight in them. They're in support roles.
I just feel like that cannot be true.
Support roles?
Well, it is true.
I feel like there's so many women in the military. You're telling me none of them are on the lines at all?
Well, so, I mean, men need to have people cook food. And
I didn't know. The more you know.
So
no, women are not allowed in frontline combat.
I did not know. That's interesting. Do you know, has that been a forever thing, or is that like a...
No, women, actually, feminists have been trying to beat down the door to get rid of this policy, right? And as it turns out, women don't want to go fight in wars. What a shock. Everybody is so shocked by the fact that women don't want to go pick up an M16.
We also don't want to
go to the front line.
Well, I feel like that goes back to that nature versus nurture, though. It's like, I feel like there's more of, I guess, a natural instinct for men to take out their anger or whatever in something like violence, whereas women wouldn't always go to that point.
Women love violence as much as men do.
But they're like psychological warfare. Women are like, we're up here twisting your mind.
But isn't it interesting that if you could psychologically get a man to conduct violence on your behalf, that is still something that women like to watch, is the exit of the violence. Well, then why conduct it to begin with?
Exactly.
Because
love and
women,
peace.
But you just got done saying women do.
Well, I wasn't sure. I know that I've seen women in like military uniforms, so I was just like, well, what?
Well,
like,
yeah, they're in support roles, sure. And
but not in like hand-on-hand.
Well, they're
combat.
not supposed to be. There have been women who have been in combat, right? But that wasn't supposed to be how it worked.
Who says supposed to?
Like you could be a helicopter pilot in a support role who's a female pilot and crash land behind enemy lines. Now you're in combat. That can happen, but that's not.
And
the
I
intention.
can shingle roofs.
Yeah, that's not.
Do you
It's not the
want to
intention.
though, like do construction? Are you being serious? Like you think women are fighting because they want to do construction? Like. I don't know. I just don't.
To me?
Yeah, I don't think that I've met a single girl who's like physically wants to do any of those things. Women just. I mean,
I'd go a step further and say can't.
Yeah, we'd be
can't
struggling
do those things.
like for the same guy could do it. I had to build a table, right? I was on this TV show called Fish Tank, but they literally. So I got punished one day for no reason. I think the audience just wanted me to do it. Every season, someone has to build a table, and when I tell you, like, I almost had a mental breakdown. I had to sit by myself. They gave me a saw and some nails, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, it's just because I don't want to do it. Like, I don't think any of those girls didn't want to do it. The guy would have been like, "Oh, sick! I could build a table."
But you have to understand that was because of the social structures and the social engineering.
Thank you.
It was the social engineering
Yeah.
from the evil patriarchy.
Wait, let me ask.
But I'm saying women naturally aren't like, because biologically they don't. I don't think biologically it's a combination. I think of biological
because
and
they don't have
social.
any interest in it.
Yeah.
Like, look, you can reduce. The thing is like if we were in the case where you couldn't go get a job at an oil rig, right? And there wouldn't be a million government incentives to make sure that you were on an oil rig as Rosie the Riveter, flexing that muscle, you know what I mean? Pumping that oil, and you could give that one shot at the camera and be like, I did that. It would be a feminist fucking dream.
Yeah.
Okay? They would love it. They would adore it. It would be a massive photo op. It would be great. By the way, they would love to have double the workforce because then they could have the wages. Okay, if they had 50% more applicants who were women than men,
I really like
they would
your
have the
slippery
wages.
slope fallacy you're doing right now.
There's no slippery slope.
That's okay.
What's the fallacy?
The slippery slope. You're like, well, if women go down the oil rigs, then there's gonna be 50% of the workforce, and then the wage is gonna go
it's
down.
not a slippery slope, and I'll explain why.
Okay, please.
Okay, so if you and I are both qualified for the same job, okay, and we both go and we apply for that job, the employer has more or less negotiating power than only if one of us apply for that job.
Sure.
Does he have more or less?
More.
He has more negotiating power. Okay, so then.
But that's if any, like, two male applicants.
So then, if you're an oil rig operator, right, and women are capable of doing this job just like men, why wouldn't you want a ton of women to apply for this job, even though it would give you way more negotiating power over wages?
Wait. I'm a little bit confused. Did you say between, like, if a male applicant and a female applicant?
No, just it wouldn't even matter if they're male or female, or two females,
well,
or two males. If two people apply for a job versus one, does the employer have more or less negotiating power?
More.
More. So then that would mean that if you were the oil rig operator, if women could do that job, you would actually want a ton of them to apply because then they have more negotiating power over the wages, right?
I guess.
So then if that stands to reason, how in the world, why would oil rig operators be suppressing women away from oil rig work?
I just don't know if anybody really dreams of working on an oil rig, male or woman.
Oh, no. There's men who love that shit. They live for it. They're called roughnecks. They love nothing more than to go work on fucking oil rigs all day long, every day. They can't wait. They dream of that shit. They're 16 years old, and they're like, I'm going to be on an oil rig when I'm 19, baby, and I'm going to make that living for us. I'm not kidding.
Because of their dad?
I want to build a table.
I want to build a table.
Libertariat donated $200. Architecture equals construction. Knowing how to draw a map that balances loads is different from actually building something. That's like saying a naval architect can weld a submarine.
It's true.
Yeah, sort of. But I also feel like that's a completely different industry. Like, not a different industry, sorry, different trade, welding. But also, ideally, your architect knows how to build a house so it won't fall down. So they have to have a pretty darn good understanding of construction.
Can I ask you a question? Actually, can I ask everyone a question? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No.
Okay. Well, how many people here can lift over 150 pounds?
What does that have to do with anything?
No, it actually does.
Some of you women do not like yourself.
150 pounds.
Like, like what are those? Bench pressing?
Just whatever. Like, you can lift it up.
Well,
something
if you
that's
use
How many?
your leg,
How many people here can?
By yourself?
Here. This is better. How many people here can just lift more than 75 pounds?
I for sure can.
Really?
I have to for my job.
I've picked up my boyfriend.
Really?
Yeah.
How much does he weigh?
Okay.
145.
How much?
No. He's more like 138.
And how much do you weigh?
120.
But wait.
115, 120.
Wait, hang on. Did you do the thing where you grab the midsection and then use your whole back to pull back with leverage?
I use my knees.
You picked him up with your knees?
I lift. You lift with your knees so you don't fuck up your back.
Yeah, I get that, but that doesn't actually always increase your lift power.
That's fair. That's fair enough.
Okay.
But my point was, none of you can work construction then, because you have to be able to lift a certain amount in order to.
Can I
work
add to
construction.
your point? Because literally, imagine this, right? Any of you, put yourself in the shoes. You want to wake up at 5 in the morning. You want to go be outside in the sun all day long for 16 hour days, lifting things all day, sweating. You think that women naturally would ever go to that? Because it's harder for us. There might be one weightlifter girl who would be like, yeah, that's cool, but she's not going to do that because she's going to be doing
These modern broads, they can't hardly bring the iced tea to the workers without going, it's so hot out here.
Literally,
Like, what the
I'm
fuck?
sorry,
You know what I mean?
You're tripping if you
Are
think you want to do
for
construction
real?
as a woman.
Darker and
It's just
darker,
insane.
This yellow jacket's so ugly.
You lift two things, you're like, yeah, I did that. Did you guys see that? I lifted it.
I mean, if you were raised by like a single father and like your father taught you how to do construction, I'm sure.
I'm not
It's
saying
not
that
about
it can't
knowing how to
happen.
do it. We can know how
My
to do
point
it and
is-
not be strong enough to do it.
And my point is not that it can't happen.
We can
it's
learn.
just
pick you.
We're
not very
smart,
common.
but we can't physically be able to do the same things as a man. Where again, it might take us 2 hours to do the same thing a guy can do.
Exactly.
Because of our physical abilities.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that there's not women that have those physical.
There might be one.
capabilities.
Just because you're
I've
incapable
seen
does not
women
mean
in
everybody
construction
else
do
is.
that.
I don't know
Yeah,
one single
I've
girl.
seen
I don't
women in
in my
construction.
whole life. I don't know one single girl who was like, "Daddy." And my dad does construction. By the way,
going on over here.
my
with,
dad.
you are way more capable than I think. You think you are way more capable of doing these
My
things
dad
than you
owns a
actually
construction
are of doing
company,
these
so I can-
things.
Says
My-
who?
yeah.
Says you?
I have fucking eyeballs. You weigh 90 pounds. You're not getting on a roof and shingling
she
it.
can definitely do
It's
it if she
fucking
puts her mind
crazy.
into it.
Like I have eyeballs. Like
You want a
definitely do it
reward
if you
for
put your
it.
mind to it.
How about we do this?
She
How
did.
about we
She's like,
do
look
this?
at me, I did this.
crazy.
So this is what
That's
we're gonna do. This is
you
what, like,
have-
Lucy,
you- girl.
There's roofing companies in Santa Barbara. I'm gonna maybe they
You're
can
gonna
reach
you're
out.
gonna apply me?
I'm gonna have you do a day with a roofing company. We're gonna film it. We're gonna film it.
Okay.
How much am I getting paid for
I'll do
this?
the same day.
Okay, then you have to challenge them to learn
That's
how
what
to
I'm
do
saying.
a woman's
What
job.
makes you capable?
What?
Can you lift
Yo.
175 pounds, Andrew?
Yes.
No.
Are there
Yeah.
any
Yes, I can.
any roofing company owners in Santa Barbara who?
Yeah, but I know, but I'm not just talking about me. I'm saying that there probably are women who do want to do it.
Yeah.
Where?
Probably.
I don't
It's
know.
a very small
Nowhere.
demographic, just like
I've never heard of one woman complain that they can't do
here,
construction.
it stands to reason. If it was the case that women were as capable of doing these jobs as men are, right? You claim no, it's a social stigma. From a business owner's perspective, if they get way more leverage in negotiating, if they have more applicants, why the fuck wouldn't they want women who are just as capable to apply for those jobs?
Also, sorry, but
Yeah,
those
like,
would be
honestly-
considered diversity hires.
Probably because of stereotypes. Like they probably think, oh well, they probably think what you think. Oh, well, this woman, she's skinny. She might not be able to like lift. She might not be able to get it done as
Stereotypes,
fast.
they care about money.
I know, but they don't want to pay that same person more if they think that they're going to take longer to do
No,
things.
by you applying, they necessarily have the leverage to pay everybody less. They can necessarily pay everybody
There's just nothing I
less.
could say to convince them. So
Private chat.
yeah.
We have a message here from Lucas. Go ahead, Lucy Goosey, read this, please.
Look at the Scandinavian countries. The more they tried to equalize STEM professions through government policy, the larger the job choice chasm between men versus women. By the way, 97.2% of roofers in the U.S. are men. So there we go. That's not 100. That's not 100. That's not 100. Wait.
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Let's back up.
Yeah.
How many of them are women who are applying, who are classified as women, who are male at birth?
I had a friend who did that. I had a
That's
friend who
so
fucking did
silly.
that.
So hang on. So that
I can't
so wait,
know
so
that. I
ups
can't
the
know that.
percentage. But we'll just grant for you. That there's some women who can do some of these jobs. Nobody's disputing that, and it was never in dispute. Nobody's disputing that there's not some women who can.
Pull up the image. Wait a minute. I'm only getting 77% as many carrots as you're getting.
And he's carrying all the saddles.
Anti-fem comics guys on Twitter.
Anti-fem comics. All right, we have another chat here. Lucy Goosey, go ahead, read it.
Lucy, the plural of woman is woman. Woman is woman. Please don't trigger Andrew. I'm sorry if my accent isn't good enough for you.
American.
He's very sensitive. Also, ESL is rough.
English as a second language is... Libertarian, do appreciate it. Also, sometimes what they'll do with these like construction stats is like the woman is the accountant for the construction company.
But you're just assuming that.
No, I'm saying in the stats.
Oh, he's a
that is the
professional,
case.
guys.
That is the case. Well, I mean, would you like to see the stats?
No, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Oh. Like now suddenly when there's data.
No, we're gonna roof this birdhouse tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we'll talk. And then I will concede if I need to.
Like a woman.
Oh, you want me to go? Dude, what is your freaking problem?
No, that would be even better. Let's just go do roofing for a day.
You should do gingerbread houses.
I'm so down.
I mean, if she's gonna be, if Lucy's gonna do roofing,
I'm gonna put on. That was his idea. Why are you guys making fun of me? Hello.
No.
If Lucy should do roofing, then you should be able to take care of a baby for like 7 days.
A man who's taking care of multiple babies is not going to be able to take care of a baby. Oh well.
But like, there's a lot of men out there that don't really raise children.
Wait, what?
They can't breastfeed.
Yes, you're right.
I think I did say woman. I think that you guys are just
for one day. For one day, I'll have to take care of a baby instead of for my entire adult life. I know.
I mean, try it. Just try it for a day.
Can you
milk
a man? I don't know.
I've actually heard that
go
you can.
home.
I have many children. I have many children.
And were you there in their lives?
Yes.
I'm having so much fun.
And were you participating with your wife 50-50, like taking care of them, changing the diapers, taking them to school?
No. First of all, back up. Now, when you say 50-50, when you're talking about the health and welfare of the kid, no. Of course, she has a different role than I do. Does that mean I can't take care of a baby? Of course not.
So
ridiculous.
You can't take care of a baby.
I just said I can. Easy.
You can take care of a baby.
Yes.
Okay. And so Lucy can roof.
Yeah, let's find out how good Lucy does.
Who said I could take care of a baby? First of all, let's backtrack. Do not leave a baby in my possession. I'm not. It's gonna cry. I'm gonna get that. It's not. Okay.